So this is Crimson Peaks.
Good day to you, mates. My name is Shadow, and welcome. And I'm collabing on a review with Shadic Goofy here, and we're doing Crimson Peak. This new movie,
Yep.
2015, that just came out. It's supposedly a horror movie,
I don't consider it
though.
to be a horror movie.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I think the only reason like they wanted to try
Oh,
like
I
say
did I do
was
my intro yet? Okay. Happy weekday, folks. Shadic Goofy 94 here. And I got my partner Shadow Games. Um, you know, we've been thinking about this for quite some time. I mean,
yeah.
we've been trying to talk about, saying, well, before you go, let's do some extra videos. Maybe, that way you can still keep it up. Hey, look at that happy face.
Sorry,
um,
sorry.
so yeah, Crimson Peak. Basically, the whole premise is that these couples they get married and then they basically go into a creepy haunted house called Crimson Peak, and that's pretty much the whole premise. Um, the first act of this movie is basically a love story. I mean, it's got the guy who played as Loki. His name is Sir Thomas, which I thought he did fine in the movie. And it's got that one girl from Alice in Wonderland,
Oh,
the Tim Burton Alice in
oh,
Wonderland.
she was from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, she
Oh,
was.
okay, oh, okay. I was
Um,
wondering where I've seen her
yeah,
before.
she. I think she did a lot more better uh, than uh, than this. Because one, I didn't like Alice in Wonderland. I thought that was a piece of crap. Um, Especially Johnny Depp. Oh my god. Oh, it was awful. But I think she did a lot more better in Crimson Peak than this movie, like the other movie she did. And so yeah, first act is just basically a love interest. The second act is where she's basically getting up in the middle of the night, holding a candle in her hand, and then ghost, 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 and then it seems like everything's all fine. Everything's all fine. Then the same thing happens over and over and over and over and over and
You
over
know what I
and
just
over and
realized?
over.
You know what I just realized about that movie?
Mm.
When she saw that ghost for the first time, not once did she report it to anybody. She didn't wait, I mean later in the movie she did, but like in the beginning of the movie when like her maid came in like after like she saw the ghost, she didn't say, "Oh my god, it was a ghost right there." She didn't say anything like that. Which I
Yeah.
thought was I mean, I didn't notice it at the time, but
Um,
just now I just
but
realized that.
yeah, pretty much that's pretty much the whole second act though. The second act is just a girl holding a candle, then ghosts appear, and then
Well,
the same thing. It just repeats itself, and it goes on for way too long. I do notice it does drag on, and I was getting pretty bored, a little bit bored myself. So I had to entertain. We both had to entertain each other throughout the part of the movie because of how draggy it was.
yeah.
But I will say the third act and the last 15 minutes of the movie was intense. The last 15 minutes of the movie was very intense. I do actually give it credit for that. But here's my main problem. This movie could have been, and this is saying a lot though, this movie could have been great if it didn't act, kind of all mushy mushy rush from part to part and then dragging on and then
No,
making plot so confusing. Like,
I think the reason because of that was like from the time it was set, it was
the
like
1800s.
1800s, yeah. It was like, rich white people gathering together in the 1800s. But yeah, there was some romance and all that cuz this
Mm-hmm.
guy from England, he actually moved to America
Yeah.
to I'm actually not even sure what he and his sister was trying to
Oh,
do.
I know what they were trying to do. They were basically trying to find a love interest for her, so that way he can go to Crimson Peak, and that way, they kill her. Basically, they had a whole entire plan for
Oh
that.
yeah, so they could just continue getting income.
Yeah, pretty
That's right.
much. They did the same thing with the previous ones. Uh, like was it Ireland, Finland, and a couple other places they mentioned. I don't know. They explain it in the video in the movie, which honestly, I didn't care one bit. The only characters I personally only cared about was Thomas and Ethan.
Let me.
Those were the only two characters I cared about. I didn't like the one sister and the, basically she was like the main villain.
Can I challenge you for a second? Was it just all about the scares, or did you actually pay? Like, did you actually enjoy this story?
I paid close attention. I mean, like,
I know you paid attention to the story. I'm just wondering, like, what you thought of the story.
I thought the story was okay. I mean,
Yeah.
there could have been more to it.
I thought the story was pretty good. The problem with it, though, was that the ghosts, I loved the effects of the ghosts. Problem was the ghosts weren't needed. The ghosts were not needed at all.
No, the ghosts were CGI'd. I mean,
Yeah.
they were total CGI, which they do look nice. I mean, the cinematography, I give it credit for this.
Yeah, they did.
The cinematography is beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely
it
beautiful.
is.
But don't let that fool you.
Yeah.
So
It should have been more of a thriller. I didn't like the ghost aspect at all because it didn't really do anything for the film.
yeah, the ghosts didn't really do anything. That's why I was
Yeah.
mentioning that was what I was mentioning as I was leaving out of the theater. I was like, the ghosts barely did nothing. All they did was jump scare and then basically try to chase after, Ethan, which was pretty pointless because it wasn't gonna be like one of those, it was just felt like it was just jump scare and then you had a fear of ness. I mean, sure, I wasn't really too scared. I didn't really have a lot of feelings of jump scares. I knew
Yeah.
what was going to happen, except for probably a couple ones that really did scare me. But that's not really saying too much. This is the problem with certain horror movies, is that it needs to go back on to what it originally was. Take like The Shining, for example, where the guy slowly goes crazy and then goes, "Here's Johnny."
Oh yeah.
Um,
I love that. I love that movie personally.
yeah. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it looks great.
It is great. It's phenomenal. But anyway, also let me challenge you once more. The ghosts, they weren't trying to harm the woman at all. They were trying to warn her about what was coming.
Yes, that's another thing. I mean, but for what I mostly saw for that was that they were just there for jump scares.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I thought they really didn't do too much.
Yeah, they really weren't needed, like all they could have done was just like, police records from like her like finding them, or what was that dude's name who played in Pacific Rim who was in that?
Oh,
McMichael.
McMichael.
Sir McMichael, yeah.
The guy,
doctor.
he was the doctor, yes.
Yeah, he was the doctor in the movie, yeah.
I thought his acting was okay.
No, not Doctor Who, no.
No, not Doctor Who.
I wish, but no. But
no.
Yeah, his acting was great. I did personally love it.
Mhm. But when he got killed off by that one stupid character that was not necessary.
Oh yeah. It was also a typical romance movie. I don't like romance movies.
I didn't really
feel lonely inside.
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. We are, we're single men. That's about it. Single men. I mean, I want to personally get a girlfriend in my life eventually, but that's not going to be for a while.
That could be, but anyway, there was one aspect that I hated, disgusted me. I'm pretty sure it was disgusting.
Oh yes,
too.
the one part where
incest.
where the brother and sister were making out.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
That was.
And I'm pretty sure back in that time period, it was a culture, but I don't think it was.
No, it was a sin.
It was
it was completely outlawed. There's you remember how the brother and sister, they killed their mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly the sister, but the brother helped too.
Mm-hmm.
But that was basically the start of the whole spiel of, like how they need to like get money and how they need to like kill women in order to like get income and all that.
Did you ever notice that there were certain cliches in this movie too, like actual cliches, like you knew that the ghosts were just gonna appear. You know who was gonna
Oh
be.
yeah.
You knew
Oh
who was
yeah.
gonna be the villain. You knew.
Those cliched jump scares. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. All in all, I rate this movie probably 7 out of 10. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I liked the story for what it was, but you know, some of the things that were just not needed.
I think.
And
Okay, imagine without the ghost. Okay, imagine it without the ghost. Picture in your head. What would you see in it?
that would be great, you know.
It would be great,
It
but
would be great, you know?
except it would still be the same thing.
Well, I mean, it would actually be more like Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf.
Disturbia.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Oh, well, that's a great movie. I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies as a child. It was so much action. I was getting so pumped when I was watching that. But
There were a few Shia LaBeouf movies I've seen. I mean, I've seen Constantine, the Transformer
yeah.
movies. I'm not gonna even count the 2, 3, and 4. Those ones were awful. But yeah, besides from that, that's pretty much about it. So, Crimson Peak review. Give my thoughts on it. I did notice it felt, rushed from time to time. It felt slow paced. Sometimes it seemed repetitive and cliched. The villain was predictable. And I wish that this movie wasn't really a horror movie. It felt a little more like a thriller. So I personally have to give this movie, obviously, I have to give it a 50%. Because there were things I did like in it, but there were things I did not like about it.
There are a lot of topics to talk about. Like, if you wanted to review this movie, with someone else, you'd have hours to talk about everything that,
Yes.
It's one of those movies that's just great for reviewing,
Mm-hmm. Even though a lot of people hate this movie,
I don't care for it.
I wouldn't pay for it again, to be honest.
Me neither.
I wouldn't even buy it on Blu-ray.
Me neither.
So,
to be honest, I wish they would just count it as a thriller movie.
Yeah. I wish the same thing.
Thriller/romance, but...
Alright, so, gotta do this outro. Alright, so, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy this video, press that like button, share this with your friends, and as well as always, press that subscribe button, and now you.
Just say, we you don't have to do our outros. We can just do them.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, check out Eccentric Shadow Games, which is eccentric, and then Shadow Games, which is all one word. And check out the cards and the videos that I've done on that channel. And as always, we will see you in the next video. Peace. You did it wrong.
Peace out.
No, you did. No, wait, no, don't. You did it wrong. You didn't. Well, no, it's on sync. We have to do it on sync. Okay? Thank you guys. I mean, as always, we will see you in the next video. Peace.
Peace out.
That's whatever. Good.